Okay, here are 7 insanely big mistakes people make with their trusts. So, hi, I'm Claire Langton-Yanowitz. I'm an attorney at the Yanowitz law firm, where we've been helping families protect what matters most for the last 29 years with their wills, trusts, and probate. Okay, let's get started. Mistake number 1, people don't retitle their property in their trust. They meet with their lawyer and they put everything in their trust. And then years go by and they buy a new piece of real estate, or maybe they buy a timeshare, or they open up a new bank account and they forget about their trust and they don't put that property in their trust. And then that can trip them up, because when they die in the future, that property might trigger probate. So that's mistake number 1. Another mistake, common mistake that I see people make is that people list their trust as a beneficiary of their IRA, 401k, or 403b. So they say, I want to avoid probate. I just want to list my trust as the beneficiary. This will help me avoid probate. And yes, it will help you avoid probate if you list your trust as the beneficiary. However, there is a downside to that. And the downside is if you list your trust as the beneficiary of a retirement account, that account is going to have to be paid out within 5 years of your death. So if you have, traditional IRA account, that account, you're going to have to pay all the income taxes on that account within 5 years of your death. And so oftentimes, if you list people directly, you're going to have a longer payout. You're going to get at least 10 years they're going to have to take it out after you die. So the rules are complicated regarding retirement accounts. So I'm not kind of going into detail there, but I can tell you that listing your trust as the beneficiary is going to give you the fastest payout of your IRA, meaning the taxes are going to be paid on that account the fastest, which isn't good. You want to slow down the payment of income taxes, if at all possible, on that account at your death. Second huge mistake people make on their will or trust is they try and do it themselves. It's poorly written. There's a lot that goes into estate planning, and I think something that is real challenging is that normally when you kind of do it yourself repairs, you fix something in your house, you fix the roof on your house to prevent it from leaking, you're going to see if you did a good job or not. It's going to leak or not as time goes on. But the problem with writing your own will or trust is that it's only going to really come into effect when you're not around. You're either deceased or incapacitated, so you're not going to really know if you did a good job. And I find that there's a lot of technicalities, and it's really difficult to draft your own will or trust and do a good job. Another really big mistake that people think about trusts is that they think that if they have a revocable trust, that if they go into a nursing home, it will protect their money from the nursing home taking it. And if you have a revocable trust, it will not protect the nursing home from taking your money in the event, you're going to have high nursing home fees. It doesn't actually act as protection if that were to happen. The 2 major purposes of a trust is it controls who's going to get your property when you die. And second, if you become incapacitated, it allows a successor trustee to step into your shoes and take over managing your financial affairs for assets in the trust. So it doesn't offer protection from nursing homes. Another major misconception, mistake that people have about trusts is they think that if they have a trust, if they get sued, their money's going to be protected. If they get divorced, their money's going to be protected, that it's going to protect people from taking away their money. And that is also an incorrect assumption about trusts. if you inherit in trust, like your parents die and they give you money in a trust that's created at death, that type of trust can act as protection from someone trying to take that inheritance away from you. But in Minnesota, you can't put your own assets in a Minnesota trust and have that trust act as protection from someone trying to take your assets away from you. Now, the sixth mistake that people kind of make sometimes with their trusts is they don't think about what happens if someone dies before you do. So they think, well, you know, I want to give it to my kids, but then they don't think about, okay, what happens if my kid is not alive when I die? Okay, or what if we die together in an accident? What's going to happen to my child's share? So you really need to think through kind of those contingencies and think about, okay, well, if my child were to predecease me, should my child's share go to the grandchildren of that child? Should it go to the spouse of that child? Should it go to my other children? So thinking through those contingencies, at least at 2 layers. You know, these are the first people to inherit. And if the first people aren't alive, what's going to happen to that share? Okay. And then the final mistake that I see people make with their trusts is failing to keep their trust up to date. You know, people's families change over time. People's, you know, what they want changes over time. You know, people in the plan may have died. Maybe there was another child that was born. Maybe there was an update in the law. So it's really important that when you get your estate plan done, it's not like a one and done game. It's good to revisit it every couple of years to make sure that it's still in line with the objectives that you want. It's still in line with the law. So thanks so much for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a ring. And I hope to see you on our next video. Thank you.